The first step before cutting the bands is you need to screw every stave on every band. It ends up being 198 screws on a typical barrel. So you want to put a shelf in your barrel. First you've got to cut your barrel open. You draw out lines on the barrel where you want to cut the staves and the bands. Then I cut my bands with a grinder. And I use a jigsaw to cut the wood itself. And I'll cut the wood before I actually cut the bands because it releases a lot of pressure once you cut the bands, and then the wood tends to bind on your jigsaw blade. These rounds come from Home Depot. They're better than the ones at Lowe's. They're drier and they do not warp as easy. So I recommend you get your round. It's a 24-inch round from Home Depot. These are clamps from Home Depot. They're DeWalt, and you can turn them around and use them to push out instead of clamp down. So you can put them inside the barrel and stretch it out so the 24-inch round will fit inside. If it does not fit, you can trim it with a jigsaw. That's what I normally have to do, but in this case I knew it was going to fit, so I'm just going to bang it in with a hammer. And you're going to want a rubber end, not the plastic end, and that way you don't break your round, put dents in it, crack it. So that's the right tool, and the softer the rubber the better. That's a very old hammer, and it's very soft, the rubber on that one. Next you got to get it even, and you can draw a line from either side of the head and have a center point, which is that blue line on the left there, and the center point on that side. And that way you can get your shelf in the middle, and you'll just bang it into the middle, clamping and reclamping and moving that clamp around as a brace and as a way to stretch that barrel out. Once you have the outsides at the same height, then you can knock the back end level as well. I like to lay my barrel inside of a dolly. It's easier just to work it like that on its back. If you had it straight up and down, it would be very difficult to do this. It's easier just to look down on it and bang that shelf around where you want to. If it does crack, you could shove glue in there and then clamp that shelf down even harder till the glue comes out, and not even replace the shelf. Just re-glue it if you crack it. You see, I have it. Okay, I'm flipping it back up now, and now I'm going to see if it's level. I'm going to put a level inside of here to make sure it's level. That way it's the same distance from the top and the bottom and the very back where the bottles would go. This is going to be probably a display or storage area in the back of a bar. This is one piece of a larger bar. And see, that's level this way, and you can get it level that way just by knocking it up and down with your rubber mallet. See, I'm a little bit off on that, so I've got to hit it a couple times in the back. That charring, I've already scraped out this barrel with a paint scraper to get the charring out. It's still falling off, but I'm going to use a blower later and get it out later. I'm not going to worry about it yet. And I'll also stain it last. I'm going to stain this shelf as the last step, because it's getting the charring on the sides there, and it's easier to do this end. That is a countersinking drill bit. That way your head is going to go down into the wood of your screw. So you're not going to crack your shelf, and the screw head is going to sink down into that. They sell that at Home Depot as well. There you go. It's totally sunk in, and you can just sand that down, and you can putty it also if you want, so you can't see the screw. Once you stain that shelf, it'll look like this with the bottles on it. You can also get rope lighting and put it inside the barrel so it'll light up at night, and it'll shine beautiful light all over your room that you have this barrel display in. I prefer using the orange rope light, but you could also use yellow or clear as well. Have fun.